This episode of Beers and Brawls is proudly brought to you by Shifty Lizard Brewing Co. Amazing little brewery down in Wollonga, serving up awesome ice cold beers on tap. They also have a kitchen that has amazing burgers and chicken wings. If you can't get down to Wollonga, they have another venue in Adelaide CBD called Hard Day's Night, where they have all their beers on tap, plus they've paired up with a few other food trucks there. So if you're looking for something to do on your next weekend free, get down to Wollonga or Hard Day's Night, make a day of it, try all their beers, try their food, you'll love it. I love it. It's one of my favourite places. So, cheers. That's a good drop. Welcome to Beers and Brawls, the show where my guests and I drink beer and talk all things wrestling. Welcome to Beers and Brawls. I'm your host, Jared. And we've got a massive episode today. We're so thankful to have this guy on. Legend of not only Australian wrestling, but he's wrestled all over the world. He's held multiple titles around Australia and multiple titles internationally. He is Wam Bam Bellows. Bellows, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. You've been asking me for a long time. I had to do my due diligence first, make sure you didn't have any ties to the FBI, the CIA, the Blood, the Crips, or the KKK. You've passed the checks now. You better not be recording this with any 5G equipment.
Well, it's safe enough, but I appreciate you doing
keeping this on for now.
That's alright. You never know what's going on, but I appreciate you doing the back checks, and I really appreciate you coming on this show. Like you said, I've been trying to get you on for a while now. You're a legend of the business, and I really appreciate you coming on. So I got you a nice Shifty Lizard. Shout out to the sponsors beer.
You're sponsored by Shape-Shifting Reptilians. You didn't tell me any part of this.
No. Shifty Lizard. It's just a name. It's not run by lizards. Don't worry. That I know of. But if you want, you can trust me. You got your little hat on, so you're safe. But smells safe. It's all good. All right. Well, we'll see how we go. But also, we got a welcome shot to get you going. Now, I promise this is not lizard made. Get that one. Alright. That's a bit rude, I'll swap it up. I'll take the big one for you, just in case. Alright. Welcome, thank you. Alright. Tastes okay?
Tastes okay. I'll drink the neck. I'll drink the blood of them Shape-Shifting Reptilians if I have to.
That's fair enough. If they come after you, I know who's going to stop them. So, what's been going on in the world of Bellows lately?
What's been going on in the world of Bellows lately? Well, I found the perfect tag team partner. Through some experimental medication now, Vicky Boyd. It's the perfect wrestler that I've created in my laboratory.
Yeah.
Plan B and on is on a roll. We're coming after them tag team titles.
Yeah, beautiful.
Been started the Sovereign Times. I'm involved in the Sovereign Times. I don't know who starts it. Local independent free-thinking newsletter. Please photocopy and redistribute. Our budget is quite limited.
Oh, nice. You made this.
I didn't say who made it. I'm just helping distribute it.
Distribute? Look at that. That's cool.
Read all about how the tag titles have been held by witchcraft and how there's a fake alien invasion coming and how Leah Lovegrove may or may not be a mole person for hire.
Alright, I like it. I'm going to keep that. I'll put a picture up for everyone to see that so you can see it a bit better later, but that is awesome. That's really cool. Thank you for that. I'm going to have a good read of that. But yeah, you mentioned Vicky Boyd. You've crafted your own little wrestler there and brought her in Rampage. So, got any title opportunities coming up, or are you sort of making your way up the ranks?
The titles are being held by witchcraft at the moment. You see, Amber, she's kidnapped Robbie Hart. She's confused his mind, turned him back into the darkest soul. Now they've got the tag team titles. Now we can't get a damn match. So we need to beat all the tag teams. Then they can't not give us their tag team title match.
No, that's fair enough. There's a couple spooky people holding those titles. So hopefully you can get your shot in due time and go through them. But what we'll do now, we'll get into a bit of our rapid fire questions. Does that sound okay?
Okay.
I've sent these through to your management, and I made sure that they're all being checked over, so there's no FBI stuff going on here, mate. All right. So You ready for this?
Let's go.
Alright. So, I just need to get this timer up. Bloody technology. Alright. Oops, what's going on here? Alright, so we're going to start. Oh, no. And now, who are you? What is Bellows all about?
I'm Wam Bam Bellows. I'm a professional wrestler, trained by the great Cole Devine. I'm now wrestling at Rampage. I've wrestled in 10 different countries. And more importantly than that, I am trying to expose the truth. I'm trying to bring light. I am not a conspiracy theorist. That's what the lamestream media will label me. I am a conspiracy factualist.
Nice. Okay, nice. When did you start wrestling?
I started training in 2004. I had my first match June 23rd, 2006 at the St. J's Rec Centre. Right. Handicap match with Southern Pitbull against the Men Mountain.
Nice.
But, I started wrestling in 2004, but I wrestled in Nepal in 2074. So, if you go by their calendars, there's documented evidence that I've been wrestling across 70 years.
Alright, we'll get into that a bit later.
What? You only believe in the Gregorian calendar? Other cultures can't have different calendars? No. Is that an issue with you, Jared? No. I can't wrestle 70 years in the future?
No, I believe everything you say, but we'll touch on that later. Who's your favourite wrestler and why?
Vicky Void, because I created her in a laboratory.
Beautiful. Alright, nice. I like it. What's the favourite match of yours that you've been a part of?
Had a really good match with Sarah Gala at APEC Wrestling in Malaysia last year. I haven't watched it back on tape yet. Yeah. A really good match with Mike Boomer in 2011. That still holds up as one of my favourites.
Nice.
My Wrestle Rampage debut with Havoc against Greg Graham, Gorgeous Greg, and Wrecking Ball Wilson's also one of my favourite matches.
Nice. Alright, nice. I like that. We'll have to check those out. Who's your current dream opponent in Australian wrestling?
Robbie Hart and Amber, because I want to set them tag team titles free from the witchcraft they're being held by.
Nice, I like it. Good. I want to see that. Wrestler in Australian wrestling you would challenge to a drinking competition?
I'll challenge anyone! Who wants to go and drink me? No one can out drink me! I'll drink anyone right now, let's go!
Alright, I like it. Alright, shout out to anyone.
Bring him in!
Come on. Your most embarrassing moment in the ring?
Embarrassing for me or embarrassing for my opponent?
Either or. Embarrassing for you or bad?
Well, for my opponent in my first overseas match in 2014 in Thailand, I was wrestling the Brave Tiger. He had a mask on and long blonde hair flowing out of the mask. I threw him in the seats in the crowd. The mask came off, the hair came off. Then there was this bald man that got back in the ring for the rest of the match, who looked suspiciously like the referee for the matches earlier on the show, if you ask me. I had a near miss in Nepal where I was ready to wrestle, had my tights on, right before the match starts, which was on live TV over there. I had to use the toilet. Look around backstage, the squatty potty was the only option. There was no toilet paper, I had tassels on my tights. Lucky by that point I'd been travelling enough to know to bring tissues with me at all times, no matter what. So I was able to take care of that issue, but that could have ended really badly.
That could have been, the roots of tassels off. Well, I think I know what this is going to be, but your current wrestling goals?
I want a Bollywood movie based on my life story.
Ooh, nice.
The Wrestle Rampage Australian National Tag Team titles.
Yeah.
I'd like to wrestle in every state. I've still got 3 left to go.
Nice.
Cambodia, Vietnam, Europe.
Ooh, nice. Alright, that's awesome. That's some good goals, man. I really like that. Match type that you would never compete in?
Scaffold match.
Ooh, that's good. Good.
No good. I want no part of a scaffold match.
Nah, that's good. Good call. And a match type that you would love to compete in?
Can't think of any match types I haven't competed in.
That's alright. You've done it for a while, so that's good.
Maybe a chain match?
Chain match, yeah. Alright, cool. Last question. What is wrestling missing today?
VHS tapes and programs. Too much reliance on the internet and all that modern technology. What are you going to do when it comes crashing down? You got nothing but your VHS tapes left to watch. You need to document these shows, save them, preserve them for years to come.
Nice, I like that. That's awesome. Wicked. Alright, so that brings us to the end of the 10 questions. We've smashed it in with the time. But I've just got a couple bonus questions that I want to throw out. Well, one bonus question. Wrestle Rampage is obviously your home promotion at the moment. Who are your, excluding yourself, who are your top 3 wrestlers in Wrestle Rampage at the moment?
We're excluding Vicky Void since I created her as well.
Yeah, we'll take her out as well because obviously she's going to be your number 1. So
Punch Drunk Histria, Will Gibson, Gorgeous Greg.
Nice. All right, wicked. And actually, I'll throw another bonus question out. Who are your, if you've been watching the scene in Australia, who are your 3 that you've got your eye on that are up and coming? If you've been watching.
Vicky Void, Leah Lovegrove, I don't know who else. It doesn't matter who I'm watching. What I'm more concerned about is who's watching me.
That's all right. That's true.
There better not be any other cameras in here. There's only that one there, right?
That's only the one. That's the only one. Trust me. We've swept the room. Make sure there's no bugs in here. But that's awesome. That brings us to the end of the questions. I appreciate you going through those answers. And like I said, we're going to touch on a lot of your stuff about where you've wrestled and stuff when we get into the photos, because obviously you've wrestled worldwide. I think you're probably our first guest that's been an international wrestler. So this is awesome. I'm going to really talk about that. And you've got some wicked goals that you've got set yourself. I would love to see this Bollywood movie if that gets made. That would be amazing.
I'm available to star in it too.
Oh yeah? There you go. So any Bollywood directors out there, I'm sure you guys love the show. So watch it and book Bellows here and we'll get a movie going.
Acha hey.
But awesome. So that wraps up that. We're going to get into our photos in a second. All right, Bellows, I've got the photos fired up. Now, the timeline's a little bit out of whack, but that's all right. We'll just bounce around where we can. I want to hear what you got to say about these photos. Now, for people at home, there is a lot of photos, so this episode may get cut into 2. So don't stress. It's not going to be a marathon, but I just want to hear everything that Bellows has to say, all these stories. So hang in there. This is going to be a really good one. All right. So we'll get these photos ready.
I don't see any photos. I see the number 4. Where are the photos? You told me there'd be photos.
They're coming. I got to get the technology right so the people at home can see it. Otherwise, if they can't, we're just going to be talking about nothing. All right. Photo number 1. Here we go.
Star of the Bar, WB Bellows. That was probably 2009, maybe 2010. My hair looked great there.
That was good. Very long hair. Got what is that? Johnny Walker and a Bundy sitting in there.
They only had one Bundy left, and I really felt like Bundy, so rather than have 2 Johnny Walkers, I decided to mix them together.
I'm sure that would have tasted pretty good. But Star of the Bar, that was the name you were running with for a while there. Nice, I like it. Next photo here. Who we got here?
That was in Schwa in Perth, Western Australia. Myself on the left, Ace Wilson in the middle, Zach Sabbath on the right, and Mike Boomer up front.
Look at the young kids there. Wow. I don't know about the gear choices for Boomer and Zach. That's very interesting. But Ace is looking the same as always. Ace, star of the show, and Zach, he's been on here as well. So nice. Here we go. Champions, Doc Kincaid there.
It's the greatest 1980s tag team of the 21st century, Beer and Loathing, 6-time tag team champions.
Nice. And that was at Snake Beer?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. What brought you to tag with Kincaid?
I don't want to get cancelled, so I'm not going to tell the full backstory. But Johnny Radic did something horrible to us and we needed to get revenge on him, and then we started teaming together from there.
Nice, and very successful as well, 6-time champs. I don't know what's going on in this photo, but someone's jumping on your arm by the looks.
That was my first match as WB Bellows, and I was wrestling Josh Adams, who was jumping on my arm.
Nice. And did you go by a different name before that, or?
I wrestled under a mask as Iceman Miller for the first 2 years.
Oh, okay. Nice. Didn't find any of those photos. I think you buried.
You weren't looking hard enough, were you?
You buried them once.
You know why I wore a mask?
Why was that?
Because Cole came up to me training one day. He told me to stop shaving. I said, Cole, I don't shave. I'm only 16. So he said, buy a fucking mask then. You look too young. So I wrestled under a mask for the first 2 years.
There you go. Oh, that's gold. Cole Devani stories. This is going to be great.
It's cool.
Yeah, definitely. Very young photo here.
Very young photo. I think I'm showing off my freshly broken hand. You can see the scar.
You got a broken hand.
Setting up the ring, someone dropped a pole on it.
Oh.
Yeah. Got up in pain. Someone came over, asked if it was okay. I said, not really. Do you want an ice pack? Yes, please. Next thing I know, I was laying on the ground. John slapping me awake. I was unconscious.
Oh.
Still wrestled that night. Then went back to someone's house drinking. And then the next day I woke up hungover. Didn't have enough strength in his hand to lift up an empty coffee cup.
Oh, wow.
So I decided to go to the hospital and get x-rays, and they said it was broken in half and drifted off in a 90-degree angle. You need surgery, we can get you in 90 minutes. So I said, okay, let's do that. Now there's a metal plate and 4 screws in that hand.
Holy shit.
That's my ring crew badge of honor right there.
There you go. See, and you rookies can't do ring crew. Pull your finger out. He did it with a broken hand and then wrestled. So, get into it.
Don't wrestle with a broken hand.
Yeah, don't do that. What do you got here? We're out in the bush here.
That was Festa, the Croatian Food and Wine Festival.
Oh, okay, nice.
Where I was told I was wrestling Johnny Radic in the main event, and I decided, hometown Croatian, use some Serbian hand gestures that someone may have taught me and rile the crowd up a little bit.
Yeah.
We were meant to be on last. There's one other match before us. Then my music played first, so I go out to the ring. Okay, order got changed, whatever, I'll still go with it.
Yeah.
I'm out there as, at the time, an American redneck at a Croatian festival in Australia who's pro-Serbia, meant to wrestle a Croatian, and music hits. Doesn't sound like Johnny Radic's music. The Aboriginal assassin Ace Wilson comes to the ring.
Well, you gotta go with what you gotta go with. But walking out with a beer, what's going on there?
I felt like a beer.
No, fair enough. Star of the bar's gotta have a beer. Here's a nice little old photo. Beer and Loathing, Wolf Dog versus Ace Wilson, Joe Mundy, and Jack. There we go.
Yep, me, Kincaid, and Wolf Dog, briefly known as Beer and Loathing and Bourbon, and Ace Wilson and Joe Mundy, and former referee at the time, Jack Simmons, who later revealed himself to be Jack Radic. That was at the Parks Recreation Centre.
Oh, nice. I'm sure you guys would have won that match.
Probably. What am I meant to keep records of everything I did in 12 years ago? What were you doing 12 years ago on the 13th of March?
That's a good question. No, fair enough. Here we go. What we got? Survivor Series main event. We got some characters on that page. Got yourself there, obviously. We got Ace, Man Mountain.
That's Kincaid. That's Ace.
Yeah, sorry, I was just calling out names. I wasn't doing it in order. But Axel Impact, little baby Axel.
Rampage. Man Mountain, who I wrestled in my first ever match. Danny Bolton, who was in NXT as Sonny Elliott.
Oh, really?
Jonah Rock.
Nice.
The legendary Captain Jacob. The Scourge of the High Seas.
Zach with his little braids in the front there. Johnny Crackerjack, is that? Crackerjack, yeah.
That's Crackerjack.
Then we got Big Mike Boomer.
Beer and Loathing and the Metro Express. We feuded together for most of that year. And then Rampage and Man Mountain had their own issues going on. Danny Bolton and Axel Impact had their own issues going on, so we decided to get together and settle it in a Survivor Series match.
Who was the Metro Express? Is that Ace and
Ace Wilson and Mike Boomer?
Oh, okay. That's an interesting pairing. That's cool. Northern Sound System. What, does that exist anymore?
It exists. It's in Elizabeth behind a skate park.
Oh, really? Okay.
Very nice, smaller venue.
Yeah. Oh, someone should get back into that. Here we go. Look at that. Did you make that? Did you get that custom made, that flag, or did you just get a normal one?
I don't remember where that flag came from. I've never seen that flag before in my life. I don't want to be affiliated with that flag in any way, shape, or form. Someone photoshopped this. This has clearly been doctored. The tights I got from Jen's on Main North Road, and I got them spray painted by a bloke at the Brickworks. But that flag is 100% doctored. It's fake footage.
The good old Brickworks. That doesn't really exist like it used to anymore. Anyway, it used to have heaps of cool stuff in there. Here we go. Is that? What we got here? We got Our Snow, is it?
It's Our Snow, Joe Mundy, Jax Radic, Johnny Radic, some people's foreheads.
What was Our Snow doing?
He was down wrestling for another promotion the next day, so he decided to come do a seminar and watch our show that night.
Oh, nice, nice. Did you learn anything from him, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good. I love looking at his old photos. He's got very baby Joe Mundy, Johnny Raddick. Very cool. Here we go. What's going on here?
That was me and Rampage right before we had the first ever bull rope match in South Australia, possibly Australia.
Oh, really? Nice.
One of my first real high-profile stipulation matches.
Yep. And who brought that to you guys? Who was the one who brought up the bull rope?
I hit him in the head with the cowbell about five times in a row. What else was he meant to do?
And how did you find doing one of those matches?
It's a lot of fun as long as I could avoid getting hit in the head with the cowbell. It hurt a lot.
Yeah. And the cowbell was in the middle of the rope, obviously, so...
Obviously. Well, not that photo it's in my hand.
Oh, is it? There you go. What's this thing you're drinking out of?
Drinking?
What's in your hand? Is it a horn?
I just told you, it's the cowbell.
Oh, it's a cowbell. Oh, duh. Oh my god. Sorry, mate. Here we go. Put a hold on Zach there.
Nice chin lock on a very young Zach Sabbath. I wish I had yanked them plaits off of his head back then. Would have been doing him a favour.
It's a fancy hairstyle he had. Very fancy. But all you young kids in there wrestling. Here we go. What's going on here? I thought you didn't like these guys. Now you're a team with them.
That was before me and Kincaid teamed together. That was a one-off six-man tag. It's myself, Mike Boomer, and Nick Berg.
Okay. Nice. It's just so interesting to see Mike Boomer from that to what he is now.
Seen a lot of Mike Boomer over the years. Too much of Mike Boomer over the years.
Yeah, I bet you have. Don't you worry about that. I've heard some stories about that bloke. Here we go.
Flying off the top rope to deliver a shoulder block to the Southern Pitbull.
Nice. Good old Pitbull. He was coming back there for a while, managing Down Under and stuff like that.
So you've had the privilege of meeting Southern Pitbull?
I have met him actually, yes.
Have you heard about the solar powered train crossing?
No, what is this?
In, I reckon, 2009, me, Boomer, Zach, and Ace did a few shows in Swan Hill for Slam Factory Pro Wrestling.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think Zach was on this show, and Pitbull's decided to tag along with us at the last minute, even though he wasn't wrestling, just come for the trip.
Yep.
We're driving along, we see a solar panel next to a train crossing. Okay, it's like, oh, that's cool, solar powered train crossing. Petey pops up in the back seat. Fuck's the point of that? So they can have electricity out here without having to run lots of cables and self-sufficient. And his response, it's fucking stupid. Why'd you do it if the sun exploded? I bet you not one single civil engineer had considered that in their risk management plans when they were constructing that solar powered train crossing.
The sun explodes.
You've been waiting for that train crossing to come up all day.
What the hell? That's a good idea with the solar panel train crossing, but the sun exploding, yeah, I don't know, maybe not. But if it ever does, we'll have to go see Pitbull and let him know. Oh Jesus! Here we go. What's going on here? You got Ace in the background, is it?
Yeah, that was right before I was wrestling Mike Boomer for the Adelaide Open title, and he was accompanied to the ring by Ace Wilson.
Yep. Who's up in the other corner?
Mike Boomer.
Oh, that is Mike Boomer. Oh, okay. Yeah. He's wearing more clothes. I couldn't recognise him. Where did you get those tights from? Do you remember at all?
I have absolutely no idea.
Nice. Here we go. What's going on here?
I was at the Gola show in 2010 or 2011, where they decided to play Lady Gaga Poker Face for my entrance music halfway through, and I just went with it and started dancing.
Nice. And are you holding, is that the bull rope, is it? Yeah.
That's the bull rope and the Adelaide Open title on my shoulder.
Nice. Here we go.
That was when I was making a living as a Terry Gordy body double. And again, with the Adelaide Open title, I think that's at St. Jay's or possibly Manham.
Okay. The Snake Pit got around a lot then, didn't they? A lot of different venues and different places. That's cool. That's really good. What's going on this way?
That was in Semaphore. Someone punched me in the nose and was bleeding a lot. I remember being annoyed because it was an 8-man tag and I'm standing on the apron and someone's tried to run out and hand me tissues. I'm like, I don't want tissues, I'm trying to wrestle.
So it was bleeding a lot then, obviously.
Yeah.
Far out. That'd be the worst, just standing there, nose bleeding everywhere. What is with this one?
That's been doctored. That's not real.
That's not real?
Fake news.
You sure?
Fake news.
Alright. Is that Boomer in there?
That's Boomer again. That was an Extreme Rules match at the Noarlunga Leisure Centre. Right before I slammed him crotch first straight into the ring post.
Where did the wheelchair come from?
I don't know, we might have stole it from someone in the crowd.
Nice. I love it. Who's in the background there?
It's Doc Kincaid.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Nice. Who you got hold of there?
It's nice legal technical wrestling against Jake Viper.
Ah, yes, Viper. Nice. He's stretching out his cheeks there a bit.
No such thing, the referee didn't see it.
He's looking right at you. Is that young Alex, is it?
I believe it is.
There you go, baby Alex. He's been on this show before. Fans will know him. Here we go. Who is in this poster?
That was a show I did in Queensland on Australia Day in 2013.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I believe that's Jake Navarro next to me on the right. I'm not sure about anyone else. The promotion name changed before the show happened.
Oh, really?
I remember that show was, trying to get to the airport after the show, where for some reason the guy that was meant to take me the next day said he couldn't do it because I had to get to the Gold Coast airport and he had to take someone else to the Brisbane airport at the same time.
Oh, okay.
So then it was asking him, is anyone able to take me to the airport the next day? Couldn't get a solid answer. Asked everyone, how far is it from this place to the where I was staying to the airport?
Yeah.
No one could give me a straight answer. I got different answers between 15 minutes and 2 hours. I wasn't going to pay the taxi for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So I said, fuck it, can anyone just drop me at the airport after the show? I got to the airport that night and found out the airport closed at 11 p.m. Was stuck outside all night. Torrential rain right before they had really bad flooding.
Oh.
Then there was a couple of other interesting characters hanging around the airport. Finally get in the morning. Then they started cancelling flights, and luckily mine was the last one to leave before they shut the airport down that day.
Far out. That's independent wrestling right there. Far out. What a story. Fucking hell. So you just walked around outside all night, just sort of...
Pretty much.
Yeah. Far out. That is cool. Alright. What's going on in this one?
That's Kincaid's... Got Joey Triton there, and I've got the Luch, rest in peace.
Yeah.
My former tag team partner in the Iceman is Iceman Morris. Knew him for a long time and passed away way too early.
Yeah. Unfortunate, definitely. That's what venue would that be at? Do you know?
The Enfield Community Centre.
Okay. Nice.
I'm guessing it was during daylight savings.
Yeah, it looks pretty bright.
Why the hell do they need a daylight savings? I'm not a damn farmer. If you've got stuff to do when it's light, get up earlier. Stop changing the clock. Leave the clock alone.
I like it. Here we go.
That was from that show in Queensland, from the poster where I got stuck outside of the airport all night.
Oh, really?
That was Mark Davis, who decided to referee my match while he's wearing his whatever tights they are with tassels underneath his referee shirt, holding the belt with me before the match.
Holy shit. There you go. Mark Davis, eh? Alright.
Apparently he wasn't a fan of the officiating in the earlier matches and just decided to take things into his own hand for the main event.
Were you defending the championship or going for the championship?
I was going for the championship.
Yeah. Didn't walk away with it?
Not that time. The next time I did, and then I never went back to Queensland again.
Oh, fair enough. Well, lucky you didn't have it at the airport if there's some sketchy people walking around. Nice little promo photo for you.
That was for that same show. Why do you keep that? That was one of the worst shows I've ever done. Why do you keep going back to that same show?
This is just what I find, mate. I don't know.
Did you just look at that one website of that promotion that closed down 10 years ago?
Probably, yeah. I'm probably just trying to get booking there and affiliate with them. Here we go.
Beer and Loathing with the tag team titles.
Again, look at that. Nice. Who came up with the name Beer and Loathing?
We both did.
Both did?
We're Beer and Loathing, so you should buy our clothing.
Ah, nice. Did you put that on a shirt?
Look at the shirt right there. We didn't need any other shirts. We had that one. We had the same design on black and orange. We had multiple colours.
Nice.
We milked the one shirt dry.
Nice. That's what I like. I like that.
There it is right there.
It is right there. Beautiful. It's a good shirt. Do you have any other shirts left, like of your own?
Of course I do. I got 16 unsold mediums. Why are none of you people medium-sized t-shirt wearers?
Well, if you...
And nothing else.
I'm sure hit up Bellows if he actually has them and you're a medium. He'll happily sell you one of those. Bit of history there. Here we go. Now we start getting international. What have we got going on here?
That was the first time I wrestled overseas in Thailand in 2014.
Nice. What is it like to go into countries like that and wrestle? Do you feel, especially in those sort of times, do you feel safe? What's going through your mind going into that sort of stuff?
It's different answers for different countries, in all honesty. I mean, that time I felt relatively safe. I don't think at least half the people on that poster are actually there.
Yeah.
That was, I was going to Thailand for a holiday and tried to find out if I could wrestle while I was there and then tee something up and then met a lot of people and networked from there that led to more opportunities overseas. My opponent, the Brave Tiger, was the guy I told you about, whose mask and wig came flying off earlier.
Yeah.
Tell you one other story. Did you meet T-Bear?
Yes.
T-Bear was, this was before he was involved in wrestling. He was one of my bosses and mentor in another role and one of my best friends. Miss you very much, T-Bear. So him, myself and another friend, Jared, were in Thailand for a holiday and we'd gone from Bangkok to Pattaya where the show was. He's agreed to pick us up, which at the time I think was like a 5 or 6 hour drive.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, we get in the car. My other friends have pretended to sleep while they're in the back. And I'm trying to make chit chat with this guy, we don't want to fight just yet, but I'm trying to find out what I'm in for. So I say to him, so what moves do you do? So he looks at me and he says, I know all the moves. Then my friend started laughing in the back seat and he says to me, what moves do you do? I said, I do a flying shoulder block. He says, what is that? I do a cross-arm neck breaker. How you mean? You told me you know all moves and I've just said 2 of them and you don't know what they are.
So that was how you got your foot in the door internationally, was you were going there for a holiday and you just reached out to see if you could sort of get a gig while you're over there?
That was pretty much how it all started and then it snowballed from there.
Yeah, just networking, meeting people and stuff like that.
Networking and timing.
Yeah, awesome. So anyone out there, looking to do that sort of stuff, even in Australia, network, get on shows, go to shows, talk to people, you inspire wrestlers out there and you'll be able to make your way through it. Here we go.
That was after the show when I was being interviewed by the Russian news in Thailand.
The Russian news?
Yeah? Why can't they have Russian news in Thailand? You got something against Russian people? They can't have their own news?
No. It just was surprising that it's Thailand and there's Russian news. That's interesting.
I'm not the program director. I can't control what goes on their television.
Were you at a boxing gym or something?
That was at the venue. It was Pattaya Boxing World. Very beautiful building, unless you go to the backstage area. But the front of the house is very beautiful.
Backstage, not good?
A lot of bullshit.
Oh, really? Fair enough. It's probably still better than some locker rooms in Australia. Oh, here we go. Matt Hayter.
Matt Hayter and Adam Crow.
Look at that. But the young studs, eh?
Indeed.
I don't know about how much stud he was then, but I'm sure you would have kicked those guys' asses.
We had a few good matches with them. I actually wrestled them the night I came back from wrestling in Thailand. I got landed in Adelaide, wrestled them later, then worked all night through into the morning bouncing in clubs.
Oh, Jesus. That's commitment. Nice. Ready Navarre Bellows. Yeah, High Impact Wrestling. Where?
That was another show in Queensland, and that match changed into a 4-way with 3 completely different people, and I won the title.
Oh, really? So those two weren't even in it?
No, Moretti wrestled someone else on the show. I don't even know if Jake Navarro was there that day.
Yeah, right. Jesus Christ. What year was that, you reckon?
That would have been 2014.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. I don't know what's going on here. Barbed wire.
Got a barbed wire baseball bat. That was a hardcore match against Ace Wilson. That was the night we tore the house down. You look at that entranceway right there. See that big hole?
Yeah.
That was where I threw him straight through it and gave him a side rush and leg straight through the whole stage.
Oh, shit. Did you guys make that? Like, was that made or was that just the building stuff that you wrecked?
Someone else made it. Look at the logo on the thing. Someone made it. I didn't make it. I don't know who made it. I just destroyed it.
No, that's fair enough. That's cool, man. I'd love to see that. More tag team championship photos.
That's us. He's got the Adelaide Open title and I've got the Front End Up Fights title.
Oh, okay. Not tag team. There you go.
So we're both different singles champions. We had a full scaling match with Johnny Radic and Acid Hayes in this time that started at the Woolshed on Army Street.
Really?
Would I lie to you? Have you not? How long have you been interviewing me now? You think I'm going to start lying to you now?
No.
Why would I lie to you, you ancient provocateur? Why have you got to question what I say?
Okay, no, fair enough. I'm just so blown away by this stuff. So it started at the Woolshed. Where did it end?
Started at the Woolshed. Well, it was for both titles on the line. And if whoever got pinned won or lost their belt.
Okay.
So there was 2 falls. And I got pinned on Main North Road by Acid Hayes, right around the corner from the Snake Pit venue. And then Kincaid wrestled Johnny for the remainder of the match inside the PWSA venue in Paraka at the time.
Yeah, right. How did you get from the Woolshed to there? Just run, walk?
We drove.
Drove?
It's a high-speed pursuit. You think we're going to walk? How long do you think they show us? They've got live feed on the video screen. Can't just walk there.
Oh, I'm going to get some footage of that. That'd be cool. There we go. Nice little pose up here.
That was when I was in Thailand and there was a photographer that offered to take a bunch of photos, so I said okay.
Nice. I hope you got those photos out of that.
How do you think you're looking at it? I know where you stole it from. You stole it from my social media. Don't lie to me.
No.
Don't lie to me.
That's exactly how I got all the photos. That's exactly how I do my research. Here we go. Another international one.
That was in Jordan.
Oh, nice.
In 2015. I had won the Middle Eastern title on my second trip to Thailand, and I went to Jordan to defend it.
Oh, nice.
That was a crazy experience.
Is this the one with the ring invasion?
Yes, it was.
We might get that video up after, but do you want to have a quick explanation of that?
Just the ring invasion, or you want the whole Jordan story?
You go. You choose. Your choice.
So I wrestled in Jordan in 2015. When I get there, the promoter and another guy and his son pick me up and they're driving me around. They're showing me around Jordan. It's like, this is our city. This is our beautiful city. Our city is built around 7 mountains and there are 7 circles throughout the city with a road stretch off. You understand? Like, yes. No, I don't understand. Don't make me say I understand, because if I say I understand, then I'm standing under your authority. I don't understand. I comprehend what he said because I'm a sovereign citizen. I almost tricked myself then, but don't fall for it. Remember, you don't drive, it's a pleasure craft. Then you don't have to pay for registration. Back to the story. We're driving around Jordan, he's showing me the sights, and then we pull up to this one house, and he says to me, this is Dr. Wasfi. He tells me, this house here, this is the house where my father lived when he first married my mother. Ah, that's cool. He goes, no, you do not understand. This is the house where my father lived when he first fought my mother. Now I am Tommy Boy. So he thought that was important information for me to know. That gives you some insight to some of the things that happened that trip. Spent more time travelling there than I was probably actually in the country, with a long stopover in Dubai on the way there.
Oh, wow.
And the match itself, the end of the match, at the end of the match, their local guy won. Fans start rushing in the ring to celebrate. There was a lot of them. And one of them shoved me. I've shoved him back. Referee points at me, tells me, run. So I've run the fastest I've ever moved in my life. And Then he takes me to a dead end in the locker room because it was a sports stadium. So he tells me to run. I'm like, that's not where my locker room is, but maybe he links around. He knows the building better than me.
Yeah.
No. It's a dead end, so then I have to run back through the crowd to get back to my locker room. Then I'm in the locker room. The two promoters come backstage and they're telling me, I didn't see this, so I can't verify it, but this is what they told me. Do not open the door for anyone. There are 17 police officers with AK-47s outside this door. Do not open the door for anyone but us two, no matter what they say. Okay, fine, I'll stay here. I won't open the door for anyone. Now, it's an important part I missed out. They kept me in that locker room, which is like a sports team locker room, the whole day of the show. Oh, wow. So I didn't get to meet any of the other wrestlers. The start of the match, I'm in the ring. This one guy gets up on the apron. Very large man. Tell the referee, get him down. Why is he up here?
Yeah.
And then he's standing up there. I clap my chest at him. He looks at me. Finally, he gets down. I'm watching him out the corner of my eye, keeping an eye, because there's no guardrails, making sure he didn't get in the ring, which is why I was so scared when all the fans did get in the ring, because I've looked over again, noticed he's holding a baseball bat. Now, I'm watching him the whole match. My eyes are just fixed on this one guy. Then I've noticed he's got a baseball bat and he's leading a lot of the crowd chants. So I'm thinking, he could be a gang leader or something like that. I don't know what's happening here. My eyes are on him. That was why as soon as everyone rushed in the ring, I'm like, I gotta get the fuck out of the ring before the guy with the baseball bat gets in here.
Yeah.
Then I'm sitting in the locker room after they told me not to let anyone in stage. I'm getting changed. I'm sitting there in my jocks. Then I look up, promoter's talking on mine, and someone walks in and I'm like, that's the guy that had the baseball bat. And he looks at me and he winks at me and he blows me a kiss. Then at this point I look over and I notice he's wearing elbow pads. He was a wrestler, but because they kept me separate from everyone, I had no idea who he was.
Yeah. Holy shit, what an experience. That's, obviously I'm glad, everyone's glad you made it out safe, but what an experience and what a story you could tell from someone like that. That is insane.
Kincaid helped me get into the country.
Oh, really?
Him and another friend of ours were going to England at the same time. We both had connecting stopovers in Dubai.
Yep.
So we're in the line in immigration and they say, where are you guys going? And it's like, Dubai. No, where after that? And I tell the lady at the counter, I'm going to Jordan. She's, excuse me one sec. Gets up, whispers in the security guard's ear, this one's going to Jordan. So then I get questioned heavily, why are you going to Jordan? And at this point I'm like, I'm just going to be honest, it's the best way to explain this. I'm like, I'm wrestling in Jordan, and then so the three of you are going to Jordan. Kincaid's had a few beverages at this point. So he starts asking, so he goes, no, we're going to England, he's going to Jordan, but we're all going to Dubai. So you just met today at the airport? It's like, no, I've known this fucker, I've been beating him up for 15 years. Which is a lie, I beat him every time, but that's not the point. So he keeps carrying on, and then he's like, so wrestling, is that the stuff for the fake chairs? I'm like, I don't know where you buy fake chairs. If you know where you can manufacture them, I'll invest right now and buy a large stockpile. Yeah. But if it's going to get me into the country and you're not going to question me any further, yes, it's the stuff with the fake chairs. Kincaid hadn't broken the ice there without him by being drunk. I think it might have led to further questioning.
Yeah, of course. That's awesome.
There's no mention of this can of being evil reptilians that dwell in the centre of the earth. No. But next time you go down there, you see your sponsors, I want you to ask them about the hole in the centre of the earth beyond Antarctica. Find out what's beyond the ice wall for me.
Okay. I'll make a note of that.
Pretty good idea.
We'll figure that out. We'll get into it. Right, next photo. When my technology wants to work. Here we go.
That was me wrestling in Japan in 2015 for the first time.
Nice.
Very fun match, very different match. I'll have to track down a copy of it at some point.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to see that. That'd be cool.
I was wrestling in Thailand again, the second time I went over there when I won the Middle Eastern title. Yep. I started wrestling wearing trunks for a brief period of time.
Nice.
There was one time Johnny Radic humiliated me getting me drunk before a match. So I said, you know what, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of being treated like a joke. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to show you what a real professional wrestler is. And the first step to being a professional is looking like a professional.
Yeah.
So I come out in the black trunks, black boots, black knee pads, covered in baby oil.
Nice.
Didn't last very long.
Didn't last very long? Nah, fair enough. There you go.
That was squashing Aram Mir, formerly the Brave Tiger, to win the Middle Eastern title with the bombs away.
Nice. So that's the one that lost the mask and the hair.
This was the second time I wrestled him though, not that time.
Oh, okay. So he ditched it after that?
Yeah, he couldn't wear it anymore because I exposed him for what he really was. Just like I'm going to expose all of you out there. If you have anything to do with the illegal Illuminati that are running this planet behind our backs, I know what's really going on. I'm getting to the bottom of this. Don't you worry about that. It'll all be exposed at sovereign times.
Nice. Yes. There we go then. Yep. Celebrating the belt. Nice.
It's a big celebration that night.
What are the crowds like in number wise and stuff in those sort of places?
In Thailand?
Yeah.
Varied. I've wrestled there 3 times. The first time was a couple of hundred. That one was very poorly attended. It was outside. That was a kickboxing ring, like a kickboxing training ring outside at a hotel.
Oh,
It
wow.
was a sponsored event
from
the hotel. And then the third time I wrestled over there was meant to be a big super show with wrestlers from all different countries. It was co-promoted by ABC Catch in France and Middle Kingdom Wrestling in China and the Kingdom Wrestling Federation in Thailand.
Yeah.
But the king died a month before when they'd already had everything booked.
Oh, shit.
Now, according to Thailand law, advertising was illegal for the month of mourning.
Okay.
So it wasn't until a week before I got back there that they started playing music in the bars again because it was a very somber grieving period. They weren't allowed to advertise the show.
Oh, wow.
So that didn't help things. But
No. Oh, geez, wow. That's insane.
that was from that match in Japan again, kicking him straight in the head.
Nice. Good elevation on the leg there. Look at that. Good stretch. Good. How did you find wrestling in Japan compared to the other countries?
Very different wrestling somewhere that has such that culture of wrestling history behind it, as opposed to a lot of places you'll go, it's a new and developing scene.
Okay. Yep. Nice. Here we go. Outside, got houses there.
It was the second trip in Japan. I'm giving a pile driver to AK. That was at a place called Triangle Park in Osaka, Japan, which was the middle of a homeless shantytown.
How did you get on to wrestling in Japan?
In 2008 or 2009, there was a wrestler called Fugo Yamaji-san. He came down with his underground wrestling for a part of the Fringe show.
Okay.
And me, Crackerjack, Johnny Radic and Southern Pitbull watched him and another guy have a match upstairs at an Indian restaurant in North Adelaide. Where it was on mats with chains around the ring that they broke their holds with, and it was... they just beat the shit out of each other and met them that night. And eventually got talking to him 6 years later and went over there 2 different occasions. Once by myself, and this trip was with Michael Weaver.
Oh, nice. Awesome. That's so cool. And what was that like, that atmosphere outside, around the houses and stuff like that? Like, looks insane.
It was pretty crazy.
Definitely insane. Was that like just a spur of the moment event that they put on, or was that a promoted event that they sort of run?
I'm not 100% sure on that. It might be an annual thing. We were over there for 3 weeks. I believe I had 8 matches on 6 shows. Okay. 2 matches that day.
Yeah. Oh, wicked. That's cool. And then here, back in the buildings again?
Yep, back in the buildings, and he's elbowing me straight in the throat, which is illegal. That referee there should be doing something about it.
There's like a car right by the ring. Oh, that's so cool. That's wicked. KWF.
Kingdom Wrestling Federation, the 18th. That one was a part of the shows I was talking about in Thailand right after the king passed away.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And which being the Kingdom Wrestling Federation didn't help them at all.
Yes.
So that was, we wrestled 3 shows over a 4-day period with 1 day off in the middle that time. Met a lot of my really good friends on that trip, so great experience. On the poster there, I don't know who that is under the mask. That's Balian Aki from India, who now lives in Japan. Yep. Next to him, Hayden Zenith, who's in Perth, allegedly. Personally, I believe all interstate wrestling's been a hologram since at least 2017.
Really?
Do your own research.
Okay.
He might be a highly paid crisis actor. I've never met him in this country, but I've seen him in India and in Thailand.
Yep.
There's myself and, once again, the great Chief Aram Mir, formerly the Brave Tiger.
Okay. Right.
Before I exposed him for the coward that he really is and took his mask and dignity away from him.
Oh, I love it. That's so good. And they've got a YouTube channel down the bottom there. I'll have to check that out. To watch some of this. Are they still going as a company?
I'm not sure what happened there. The Chief Aram Mir, he moved to Russia for some time.
Yeah.
And he was training over there at the IWF wrestling school in Russia. Yeah, and he was wrestling on some of their events. I did hear he was moving back to Thailand, but I'm not sure if that's eventuated as of yet.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
It's me with the Wrestle Square Intercontinental title.
Yep.
After I won it in Thailand, before I ever gone to India, and I lost it 2 days later. Before I went to India, and I finally got over there 6 months later as a former champion.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, we got ACW here.
ACW, and I have no idea who I'm wrestling there.
I don't know either, to be honest. Looks like he's got face paint on or something, maybe. Do you do many matches at ACW?
I think I did about a year's worth of shows for them at some point.
Yeah.
Might have gotten a little bit of trouble at PWSA for attacking Ace Wilson with the ball rope and trying to lynch him over the top rope. And Paul Roberts said I was suspended. So, during the time I was suspended, I wanted to wrestle and keep sharp. So I reached out to them and did a couple of shows, and they kept using me for a bit. And
yeah. Awesome, absolutely.
I believe half the matches I had in ACW were against Jack Rossley.
Okay, yeah. We missed Jack Rossley, he's a gun. What do we got here? What's this stadium?
That was in India, in Indore, in the middle of India. That was for Super Action Wrestling, part of Wrestle Square, big event they put on there. About 4,000 or 5,000 people in the crowd.
Ooh. Is wrestling, like you said, 4,000 or 5,000, but is wrestling a big thing in India, or is it sort of up and... Was it on the rise then, or sort of?
Huge crowd in there. They're also very regional India, where they wouldn't have a lot of events happening. But yeah, the population there is insane alone. So
yeah,
but still to get wrestle in front of that kind of crowd was incredible. And I know. Do you have the poster for this show coming up?
Poster?
Yeah.
For
this show. What do you think I'm talking about?
I don't know. I can't remember the photos I have coming up.
So they marketed it to, what the locals would know it as. So on the posters it said WWF style fight.
Oh, okay, nice. That's cool.
I'm a professional international WWF style fighter.
There you go.
Take that, World Wildlife Fund.
Was that at the time the biggest crowd you've wrestled in front of?
By far. There's a couple of shows in Nepal that would have got close, but that's still probably the record.
Yeah, that is amazing. It would have been such a great atmosphere.
So on my way to the ring in India from that same show there.
Yeah, nice. Some love from the fans. Do they, are you automatically the bad guy coming from, a different country, or they just don't care, they just sort of...
No, not at all. I was fan favourite. I wasn't breaking any rules that night.
Yeah, nice.
I opened the show, and I came out there and I said, Namaste, Indoor. Super Action Wrestling is Acha Hey.
Nice. I'm sure that means something good then, obviously.
Of course it does. I'm not allowed to say the bad words in Hindi on here. I know them all, but I'm not going to say them on your YouTube show. I don't want to get you cancelled in India.
No, good. We want to break into India one day. Who we got in this way? We got some huge dude in the background.
That's Tyra Rusame on the left. Thai American wrestler. She was based in Singapore at the time, now living in Colorado in the US.
Nice.
Not certain who's either side on my shoulder. Myself there with a belt around my waist. Referee Tikram, who unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago. The great Ungar, who is 8 foot tall.
8 foot tall.
And I can't see who's past that.
Jeez.
I was the second tallest guy on that show.
Far out, 8 foot tall. Far out. There we go, Cole.
It was me, Cole Devani and Kincaid were briefly running trainings in 2016 at the Northern Wolves Soccer Club in Elizabeth. It's great to spend time with him in what ended up being a year before he passed away.
Oh yeah, wow, shit. And that was still the Monster Bait, or is that Snake Pit or?
That was Snake Pit. We sort of had an offshoot and a secondary training centre at the time.
Yeah. And is that what is that like? That's not a normal ring, obviously.
It's a 6-sided ring. I don't know why it's got 6 sides. 2 sides too many, if you ask me.
Yeah. How do you find going in that ring compared to obviously a normal 4-sided ring?
I prefer a 4-sided ring where possible, but didn't have too many issues with the ring. I don't think it was there for that long.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Good photo though. Very good photo. Won yourself a gold medal here?
It was when I won in Nepal they're called Royal Rumble, a group match.
Okay.
I won the match and then I was presented with a medal by the mayor.
Oh, nice.
All the winners of the matches were presented by medals with the mayor, from the mayor of the town.
Yep.
And in the ring they had 2 rappers hosting the show, Bullet Flow and Mr. Prince.
Okay.
And myself and one of my best friends, the Eurasian Dragon from Singapore, were in the ring. And we heard some announcement over the mic. And they said, Mr. Prince is coming out. And we started talking about, Prince is here? Love Prince. Is he going to sing Purple Rain? And we made Bullet Flow, who was the other rapper, hysterically laugh. And then we had the Yuv, the yokel wrestler in the pool, tap us on the shoulder and very politely but firmly, please sir, be serious. We are still on national television. And then Bullet Flow made my entrance music.
Oh, nice. And you still use that today, or?
Most of the time.
Oh, wicked. That's really cool. What's this one?
That was AWE in Malaysia in 2017. I moved to Malaysia to wrestle full time. Signed what was meant to be a 2-year contract.
Yep.
Sort of fell apart after about 4 or 5 months. Ended up coming back home.
Oh shit.
But it was definitely experience. That was their first event, which happened in a circus tent. Then I had to postpone the show quite late because in the circus tent, with all the camera equipment, there was heating issues.
Okay, yeah.
But still a very, that was probably one of their better events. Fun 4-way match with Serigalo, who I had a match with against last year when I went back to Malaysia for APAC Wrestling, Furious Faisal and Jackie G.
Nice. So they, that company signed you, did they, to go over there and live and wrestle? Yeah,
I was meant to go over there and wrestle full time, and unfortunately one of the guys that was involved was a bit shady. British dude whose background allegedly was reality shows and game shows.
Yeah.
And every meeting we had with him, we've got progressively more red flags. It's sort of, you get the offer of, move overseas, wrestle full time. It's like, sounds too good to be true. So kind of thing it probably is, but it's also, with half of this stuff's true, it's still pretty cool and it's an experience. I don't regret going, but
absolutely.
It got to the point where, they'll be behind on pay, there'll be other things going on, and we'd have meetings with him. It was almost weekly. We'd sit down and, where's our money?
Yeah.
And he'd say, look, I know things are a bit tough right now, but if you stick with me, I'll make you rich and famous beyond your wildest dreams. In a year's time, you'll be in a nice house with a nice garden, and we'll be having a beer, and we'll be laughing about this.
Oh, wow.
I ain't laughing. Give me my money, Dave.
Well, you're sitting here with me having a beer and having a laugh, so that's good enough. So you said you went back there last year, so obviously you're still going back internationally.
Let me clarify, no disrespect against the local scene whatsoever there. There's a lot of people there, they got screwed over by this guy as well. I definitely don't want to besmirch or belittle the Malaysian scene or anything, so yeah. Yes, I've wrestled... I lived there for 4 months and wrestled 3 times while I was there. Then I went back at the end of 2018 and teamed with Jonah Rock, Bronson Reed on what would be their final show against Gao Yuan and King of Man from China. And then I've been back twice since then, once for Malaysia Pro Wrestling and once for APAC Wrestling.
Yeah, nice, awesome. And do you have any sort of events that you're going to go in the future to the internationally, or are you just sort of sticking to Australia for now?
Wait and see what happens. I mean, you know, interstate wrestling being a hologram severely limits my options. So I might have to go overseas again sometime in the near future.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be cool, man. Another one here from AWE.
AWE, that was a second event in Johor Bahru, which is right near the Singaporean border.
Okay.
So, yeah, that time went down there and there's a bridge that you could cross. I went to Malaysia, but I was too worried that we'd get stuck there and not be able to get back. Sorry, to Singapore, but I was too worried I'd get stuck there and not be able to come back for the show the next day, so I didn't want that to happen. Very popular with the Malaysian fans. That was a fun match. Mr. Y, I don't think is wrestling anymore, which is a shame, but yeah, had a lot of potential and enjoyed teaming with him.
Nice, that's cool, man.
That's me and Mr. Y chopping Furious Faisal. I'm wearing a bandana that I got in Nepal.
Oh, nice. Got some tassels going on the tights there. Beautiful. I like it. What's going on here?
It's a mattress commercial.
Nice.
R&B bedding for all your bedding needs.
It's here in Adelaide, obviously.
Yes, it is.
How'd you get involved in a commercial?
My friend T-Bear asked me to do the commercial, so I said yes.
Yeah.
And then I did. And then, yeah. There's also a car that drives around with me on that same photo, I believe, on the back of it.
Still?
Someone sent me a photo of it a couple months ago.
Oh, nice.
I believe it's still driving around.
Oh, that's wicked. So obviously you're on a TV commercial, they got aired all over Adelaide and...
TV commercial, internet, some photos, all those things.
Yeah. Oh, that's wicked. That's really good. Nice little get up there.
That was wrestling at Supernova when I joined the Covenant, which was Mike Boomer's cult.
Yeah.
So that was after I came back from the AWE thing falling apart and somewhat disillusioned. Mike Boomer was looking for recruits to praise the Almighty, and I felt lost and helpless, so I joined in on that. And then once that fizzled out, I kind of, realised what's really happening behind the scenes and started to try and expose the people behind me what's really going on in the world.
Nice. And that was your start at Rampage, was it? Or?
That was my start at Rampage. That was, Supernova.
Yep.
2018, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. So I think we got some photos coming up of that.
Me with Mike Boomer, that would have been one of the first Wrestle Rampage shows I was ringside with him for.
Yeah.
Where he's defending the Cruiserweight Cup.
Nice. What's the Cruiserweight Cup? Is that a like a set of a belt or?
It's a cup for cruiserweights. What do you think it is? It's self-explanatory. I don't know where it's gone. I haven't seen it for ages. I'm probably not eligible to win it, but if it's still going, I'll take anyone on for the Cruiserweight Cup. What, you're not going to let me have the Cruiserweight Cup shot just because I'm too big? That's discrimination. I'll sue you if you don't let me have a shot at the Cruiserweight Cup.
Alright, we've cleared that one up. It's good to see Mike Boomer wearing some more clothes though, which is a good change. Here we go.
It was me, Mike Boomer, and Joni May, early days of the Covenant.
So Boomer was your leader there, obviously.
Yes, he was.
Trying to change the world.
Havoc joined us next.
Did he?
That was in India when I went over the second time to do commentary for a TV series called the Wrestle India Network, or WIN, Dangul Ke Soma. They ran, I believe, 12 to 15 episodes, and I did commentary over there.
Yep. So just commentary, no wrestling, or?
Yeah, just commentary for that one. The promoter reached out to me and he said, I need to find a commentator. Do you know anyone? I said, I can do commentary.
Yeah.
Said, can you really do commentary? Yes. Please film yourself commentating a match and send it to me. Okay. So I did, and then he said, okay, you can do commentary, and he sent me the flights, and I went over and I did the TV series over there.
Nice.
Then I was lucky enough to tee it up on the way back and get the stopover flight extended and wrestle in SPW in Singapore, which had been a goal for a long time. So I made the most out of that trip.
That's heaps good, man. That's really good networking. Good work. Here we go with Havoc.
That was when Havoc joined the Covenant.
Yep.
I believe that was my in-ring Wrestle Rampage debut, where he wrestled Gorgeous Greg and Wrecking Ball Will Gibson.
Yeah. Nice. What a team that is. Bellows, Havoc and Boomer. What a team.
Unfortunately, it didn't last too long, but it was a lot of fun while it lasted.
Yeah. No, it would have been. Here's the Covenant against Tommy Knight and the Foxy Boys.
Tommy Knight and the Foxy Boys, I believe that was the beginning of the end. And I'd later go on to team with the Foxy Boys.
Yeah, I think we've got something coming up with that. Oh, we've got you there.
That was in Malaysia Pro Wrestling when I went back in 2020, just before the world shut down. I wrestled in Malaysia again, and I got to do my 10th country, which was the Philippines, on that same trip.
Oh, nice. So it's 10 countries in total, is it, that you've wrestled in?
10 countries, Canada, Australia.
Canada, Australia. Yeah, that's awesome, man. It's so good. There we go. Get your nice hat on. I like it. So what made all this happen?
Well, we were wrestling at the Lion Arts Centre, and it was meant to be a big 6-way match. But then right before, I heard it was going to be streamed live on Facebook.
Okay.
And I didn't want Mark Zuckerberg to have rights to likeness of my image.
Yep.
So I refused to participate in the match. And then I found some alfoil backstage, and I decided if I go out there, this will mess up the facial recognition, and it'll keep my thoughts clean, and they won't be able to read my brain through the Facebook waves.
Yep.
And so then I made this tinfoil hat, and I've been wearing it ever since, and you can get your own for $5.
Ooh, alright. I'm intrigued. I might have to save up my cans and buy one of them. Available at Rampage shows, are they?
Available every Wrestle Rampage show. Unless someone's taking it away from me, they better not take away my rights. They better not infringe on my rights to sell my own tinfoil hats. I can sell my tinfoil hats anywhere I want, just like I can distribute the Sovereign Times anywhere I want.
Exactly. I'm sure you'll be able to still sell them. We'll get a good close up of that later so everyone can see that. But I can't wait to read that. Free to the people. Oh, nice. There you go. I like it.
Find a copy and redistribute.
I'll stick them up everywhere I can. Here we go. Cleaning up some people there.
That's me taking out Wrecking Ball and Bones Malone.
Nice. Nice big shoulder tackle there. Take them out.
That's how it's done.
There we go. We're jumping back a little bit, but back to the 8-foot guy.
That's the Great Ungar, and again, referee Champ Thikram, who unfortunately passed away, and myself in India. Like I said earlier, I was the second tallest guy on the show, so you can see just how tall he is there.
Is he still wrestling, or what's going on with that guy? Do you know?
I seen footage of him at a WWE tryout a couple of years ago. I'm not sure if he's had a match recently or not.
Okay, yeah. Alright, what a huge guy. And here's the Foxy Boys.
That was when the Foxy Boys decided to listen to me and not trust the mainstream media and listen to the real truth.
Yeah. What are you wearing under your tights there?
That would be a hazmat suit. This was just as COVID started, so I didn't want to take any chances.
Ah, okay. That's fair enough. That's good call. Got our little Foxy Boys there. And unfortunately, that's the end.
It's the end.
That's the end of the photos. I don't know. I obviously didn't do enough digging. I couldn't find any of Vicky Boyd and yourself, but that wasn't good on my part. But we've there's so many photos. We could have had 200 photos to look at, but that's what we've got on here today. So really appreciate you looking through those photos, Bellows. Amazing stories, and to wrestle in 10 countries, hold multiple belts in those countries and stuff like that is such an amazing feat. And we could talk all day of these stories, and if you got any more, feel free to just chuck them out whenever you feel like it. But we're gonna plug your social media, plug your merch, shows, and all that sort of stuff. Alright, Bellows, feel free to now plug any social media, any shows coming up, all that sort of stuff. I'll have all the links in the bio for the YouTube thing. Feel free to chuck them out now so everyone can follow you and give you a like.
Wam Bam Bellows _pro wrestler on Facebook, Bellows Wrestling on Instagram and Twitter, but I hardly ever use Twitter.
Yeah. And you got, obviously, we talked about the hats you got for sale. Any other merch?
$5 for sale. Get them at your next Rampage show. Keep your thoughts safe. Don't let the government inside your head.
Nice. Any shirts or anything, or just the hats at the moment?
Just the hats at the moment.
Yeah. Nice.
Don't forget, Wrestle Rampage, Fearless, June 17 at the Cosgrove Hall in Clough Valley Park, South Australia. Me and Vicky Boyd will be there, and Plan B and on want some action. We're not sitting back anymore. We're going to take matters into our own hands. We're coming after those tag team titles. We're coming after all those tag teams.
Nice. So make sure, guys, get around that. Give Bellows a like and a follow. Get yourself a tinfoil hat. Protect those. Protect your mind. And obviously, Rampage Fearless show coming up in June there. So make sure you get around that, guys. Get around Bellows. Legend of the game, and he's just getting started. He's going to take those tag team titles soon, and who knows what's going to happen with Vicky Boy from there. But that brings us pretty much to the end of the show, man. I really, really appreciate you coming in here today. It's been a pleasure to have you on the show. Like I said, can't pump you up enough, mate. You're a legend of the game, and it's great to sit down and have a chat with you. Can't wait to have a read of the Soviet Times. Have a look through that. And,
Sovereign Times, get it right.
Oh, sorry.
Photocopy and redistribute that.
I've had too many beers, getting a bit slurry. But other than that, mate, appreciate you coming in. All the best. Cheers, and we'll see you around.
If you don't like that, wham, bam, don't give a damn.
Thanks for joining me on another episode of Beers and Brawls. And another huge thank you to my guest, Wam Bam Bellows. Amazing stories, and half of the stuff we talked about didn't even make this show, but some of the stuff, would get some people cancelled. So, but great stories, great chat, and I really appreciate him coming on. As always, big thank you to our sponsor, Shifty Lizard, for the awesome beers. Check them guys out in Wollonga. But until next time, give us a like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. Cheers.